Let's pretend it didn't cut out. Hi, Madam C, and welcome to my very well-parked 350Z in a Waitrose car park, because I just returned an old camcorder, or a new camcorder that I didn't need. Long story, we're heading to the British Motor Show. It is setup day today, and I'm taking 3 cars. One of my cars that's arriving today will not be arriving under its own steam, and a lot of bad news about that to come later. That is a queue of people to get to the hospital. Look, even an ambulance is stuck in the traffic to get into its own hospital. It's the dreaded C word back. There's a Porsche 959. Can you see it? It's in a very far distance, I'm sure. I'll get behind it. Let's go. Let's get it. Porsche 959. Going the wrong way, I'd imagine. Wow, there you go. Huh. That's a sign of things to be expected this weekend. Wow, it's all going on here. Tents getting set up everywhere. Behind me is a rally spec Clio being pulled by a yellow van with tribal graphics. This will be on display outside. I believe the Cayman might do as well, but inside is where my other cars are going to go. And that is a Bentley Ute just in front of the Hot Rod Dragster. Well, that's a blower. And this is my Lord Timepiece, who have sponsored this video, which you can get 10% off by using Adam C, following the link down below. So I'm going to wait around for car number 2 to arrive on the trailer. We've got other cars pulling in just like the Gumbel 3000 XJ220. But welcome indoors to our section. This is where 2 of my cars will be parked, right here by the XJ220, and of course Turo's new manual Murcielago and this fully restored Beetle. And here once again is the Bentley Ute. It would have originally been a flying spur, but it's been chopped and turned into some kind of yacht. Would you look at that? Tech Autos are here with their Factory 5 Cobras. Very rare that we get to see Factory 5 Cobras in this country. This one's got a Mustang Coyote 5-litre V8 and currently no body, and then you've got grey with yellow stripes over here. And then at the back of the hall is the modified carpet. So you've got R34 in front of the Subaru, got a Mustang with chrome orange details, and an IS200 because he can't afford a white chaser. He's also white wheeling the world, you know. And around the other side of the hall, a Fast and Furious spec 350Z Vale side, as seen in Tokyo Drift. I've always wondered why no one's replicating this car, because it was one of the main cars of the film. It was an antagonist rather than a protagonist, but this was a huge part of one of the most legendary parts of the Fast and Furious franchise. And I've just been provided by the Detail Kitchen, who've got a stand in there with a bottle of Quick Detailer, so I'm going to be able to wipe down my cars once I actually arrive. So I think my next car should be just pulling in. They gave me their yellow bottle saying it would match the 350Z. I mean, it's almost there. I think it better matches the little bit of paint I touched in there when I crashed into my gate. Oh, my neighbour has just arrived. I don't mean my actual neighbour. The car that I'm going to be parked next to in the show is just rolling in. We have Rattarossa in the Rattarossa. Good afternoon.
An opportunity to film, huh?
Hello, hello. Very good. The car's looking wonderful as ever. Yeah.
The second time it's been driven since we came to the show last year.
Wow. Oh, I love that car. But I've got eyes on my car, my poor little car, on the back of a trailer. It's gonna have to go off to the menders again. It is the MGB and it is dead. It is dead, and that is why it's arriving rather fashionably on a trailer. So I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on with this car later on and why it's not arriving under its own steam. It was meant to. It still looks the part, but it's gonna be a bit of a costly experience. So some good news about the car. It will start. Just maybe not for that long. Unfortunately, I have to be really quick with this. I can't let it run too long due to what's happened. So I'm following in the Austin Yellow E46 M3 into the show. I'll park this up, then go home and get the Chaser. We'll come back to the MG later. There's lots going on, as you can see. I'm going to hop into the transporter that transports the MG to go home and collect the Chaser. welcome to the Chaser and rush hour in Farnborough. Right, we can still kind of send it through. There we go. Love it! A car, oh look at the trucks! They were the ones who went past like not so long ago. I'm following some kind of wide body Golf GTI Mark 1 and a Mini without a roof, and here comes the speed bump. I should be fine. Just gonna check. Loads of room, what are you talking about? Silly Adam. Best be safe than sorry. Ugh. That one seemed easy. This one seems less so. The nice marshal at the gate said, "You're right getting over those bumps, mate, because there are some more bumps here, but these ones are fine." But nice of him to think of. Maybe people have had issues on the way here. Oh, Anarchy Garage making a scene. There that goes. Look at that. JDM combo, both in white. It's a very tight gap, and this is a very large car. So it's now time to wipe down all three of the cars, and I've just decided that this looks too bad to be on display, and it's already broken, so I'm just going to take my number plate off. You might have noticed in a recent video that I didn't apply this very well. Don't mind me just taking my number plate off. Adam, see. Nothing to see here. I have a few regrets now. But it's coming to the end of setup day. I think all of the cars are now in place, and I've been cleaning the engine bays of these two. So we've got the Chaser, just added a little bit of polish to my radiator, cleaned it up a little bit, not too much because it really needs a bit more than just some elbow grease. And the MG as well, look, it's looking beautiful, but this will soon have to come out the car due to its annoying problem. Head gasket. So I took this car to Adam's Seafest and I left it running whilst I got the COVID loaded on, and I noticed the temperature gauge after 5-10 minutes was off the chart. So obviously that is a huge issue, but the car wasn't warm at all. There was nothing letting us know that it was overheating, so we thought maybe it's a faulty gauge. And I haven't properly driven that car since that day, and it's been running a little bit rough as well, but I thought it was just the carbs. So we've had a look at the carbs first, and we've greased up the spindles because they were releasing a little bit of air into the system. So a bit of grease stops that air leak, and the carbs are now running rather well. So that, we thought, was that. So we need to put the airbox back on the car, and then maybe tune up the carbs properly, get new spindles, maybe a rebuild kit, but for now that was fine. So before today's show, I took the MG on a test drive. I hooned it around the area just to make sure the carbs are all good. I was going to drive this here and then use a fold-up bike to get to and from home, which is like 10-15 miles away. So that was when it's happened. So many of you will know I had this car restored about 2 years ago. I've had 2 years of driving, and about 1 year of that driving was with faulty carb and apparently a faulty head gasket. So it's not been great. I've overpaid for the restoration work already. I did a video about that. We already know about that. And now here we are needing a new engine. That's right. So took on a test drive, top of fourth gear, quite high RPM, I suddenly lost most of the power. It felt as if one of the HTDs had just kind of popped off, or a spark plug had shot out or something, but like suddenly I was like, oh my god, this is either going to be like a simple thing or very, very serious. Unfortunately, that day it was heading to an MG specialist to be inspected, basically due to the carbs before this show. So I nursed it home and feared for the worst. I'd also like to say that the temperature gauge at that point was fine. When driving, with air going through, it was in a normal location, so I didn't think it was an issue. But even still, I thought that the temperature gauge was faulty because it didn't seem like it was overheating. And yes, I'm an idiot for not reading the gauge and realizing that that was an issue. But we've all just been kicked out because it's the end of setup day, so I shall finish the story with you guys tomorrow at the show with the crowds and the Chaser. So welcome to day 2. We've got the V8 supercharged dragster moving out. There's another car idling, ready for some live stages, and we're back at the MG to re-talk to you about out what happened. So I took it on a very spirited drive to test it out to see if it would work for today and this show. Hooning down a road, unfortunately I wasn't filming at the time, but at the top of 4th gear, that's when suddenly I lost so much power, almost as if a spark plug or an HT lead had popped off, and I was like, this is either going to be serious or just something small. So let me show you. The car still looks the part, and as you know, it still does drive, but it gets very hot very quickly. So head gasket gone. And apparently the bottom end is knocking slightly, so we can't just do the cylinder head, it's going to have to be a full engine rebuild. And the trouble with that is MGB engines are quite cheap in comparison to other engines, so it's more cost effective to put a whole new engine in. So 2 years after I finished the restoration, this car needs a new engine. Bottom end knock, head gasket, cylinder head is scored. So it still looks the part, it still shines, the engine bay still looks tidy. I haven't got the airbox on it at the moment, but we're going to leave it like that and see what's going on outside. So, we've got a Toyota Chaser about to do some drifting with the E46. Sounding amazing. Anarchy Garage has got their V8 powered. This is the Petrol Hedonism live part of the show where all the noise happens. We've got the 350Z powered Ford F100, you've got the Chaser of course, and then this absolutely stupid zombie with side pipes. So to get a better view of all the action, I'm going to hop into the Mercedes. I burnt my leg already. You'd think that having a Cobra with side pipes I'd know, but hopefully that doesn't scar.
Never learned.
So we're in an automatic C-Class with line lock. That's what this is for. I think we're going to do the smoky burnouts. We're going to watch the F100 do some drifting. That's a 370Z underneath. And then the hot rod I think is going to do some flames maybe. And of course there's a Chaser behind us. He's going to be sending it around us I believe, or in front of us, whatever's safe. What we've got here is an air filter blocking our view.
I know, it's terrible.
It's awful. Not good planning, and I can't put the window down because of YouTubing things. So we're trying to make the hot rod shoot flames out the sides. It's not quite doing it. There we go, I've seen flames. There we go, it's doing it. It's doing it. Wow. Now remember, this is a 370Z. That is why you're watching an F100 go sideways so easily and perfectly. This engine is right in our way. What's going on? So we're going to use a line lock to initiate a burnout. We won't be sending it, we've got no power steering and an automatic gearbox, so we're just going to create a bit of smoke for the crowds. These guys are going to be drifting. Line lock initiated, engine warning light showing, burnout's happening. Oh, let's pretend it didn't cut out. Has the rad gone? Hazards. Laugh it off, nothing to see here. Oh, here comes the Chaser. Here we go. Hello. I just stung myself on the exhaust again. I keep forgetting, why would a C-Class have side pipes? So,
Water.
is it dropping water?
Yeah, it drops it there.
It drops it. I don't want to fall through the rust. I think I've
Just drop there.
stung myself on the exhaust. So could that be the second car in the day that's blown? No, it hasn't blown up, just the radiator sprung a very specific leak just there, and the car doesn't quite like the fact that that happened. So we're waiting for it to start again and maybe join in later on. But I've got out the car for the grand finale. So what a grand conclusion to today's video. There'll be plenty more content coming from the British Motor Show, so make sure you hit that bell when you subscribe to be notified for when those go live. So unfortunate about the MGB, but it will be back soon with a new engine. I'm not very lucky with my car collection, but at least I get to watch other people enjoy theirs so much. Chase looking and sounding incredible. So follow me on Instagram for all the updates, highlights and pictures that I take of these meets and more. But for now, thanks for watching.